Delmar Joba from Lisbon. This is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 22nd of January, 2026. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. Tuesday the 20th, the court sentenced 4 men involved in the Chiatura protests to 4 to 6 years for attacking a mine director back in April of last year. They have been in pretrial detention ever since. Chiatura is a Soviet-era mining town in western Georgia. Its economy and jobs rely completely on Georgian Manganese, a company that operates the mines. Protests there have been ongoing since 2019 and have involved strikes, demonstrations, hunger strikes, and even protesters sewing their mouths shut. Reasons for protests include environmental damage the company causes by drilling under nearby villages, which makes the ground sink and houses collapse. Demonstrators also demand fair pay and compensation for workers. 4 men arrested were the leaders of these protests. They say their arrest is political and the aim is to kill the movement. On Friday the 16th, Vaja Siradze, chief of Tbilisi Police Department, held a press conference where he announced the arrest of a neo-Nazi group. The Tbilisi City Court ordered 16 members of this group, 10 of whom are minors, to stay in jail during the investigation. Police say these individuals targeted over 10 victims, including 4 children, using extreme physical and psychological violence. The attackers recorded these assaults and shared footage on various internet platforms. Because the case involved many minors, the court held the hearings behind closed doors. The suspects faced charges for organizing group violence, robbery, and torture of minors. These crimes carry a maximum sentence of 12 years in prison. Watch the videos of their attack with the victims' faces blurred. Click on the link in the show notes. On Saturday the 17th, police blocked relatives of imprisoned pro-European protesters from entering Tbilisi International Airport from outside. The group arrived to give international travelers who were arriving in Tbilisi by air a newspaper called Voice of Freedom from Prison, which features letters from demonstrators currently serving sentences. Police officers guarded the terminal entrances and forbade the group from distributing any materials inside. Officers even prevented relatives from entering the airport to use the bathroom or buy coffee, offering instead to bring drinks out to them. These families have published the newspaper since last summer to bring the voices of prisoners to the outside world. Other news: on Wednesday the 14th, a tragic accident in the village of Kveda Ghvirishi, northwestern Georgia, took the life of a 10-year-old boy named Gegi Cheturiani. During a family gathering for the Old New Year, Gegi and another child found a hunting rifle inside the house. The other boy, who was only a few years older, accidentally fired the gun while they were playing. The bullet hit an artery. Gegi died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. Police arrested the homeowner, Gizo Girgobiani, for leaving the weapon in an unsafe place where children could reach it. He now faces charges for negligent loss of life and improper storage of firearms. On Monday the 12th, a regional news portal, Guris Moambe, reported a fatal incident in Ozurgeti in western Georgia involving a state security service officer and a criminal-style standoff. During a meeting with a local businessman, the officer allegedly acted on behalf of thieves-in-law, Kanonieri Kurdevi, notorious organized crime syndicate. The dispute broke out. Officer used his service weapon to strike a businessman in the head multiple times before firing his gun. Businessman died of a heart attack just minutes after the shots were fired. Authorities have arrested the officer, but they have not commented on the incident. This will be the second year in a row that the Georgian Prime Minister will not attend the World Economic Forum in Davos, which began on Monday the 19th and will run until the 23rd on Friday the 16th. The government confirmed to Radio Free Europe that the ruling party did not receive an invitation. World Economic Forum is a major annual event in Switzerland where world leaders, business executives, and heads of international organizations discuss the global economy. This year's participants included U.S. President Donald Trump, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Speaking of Davos, on Wednesday the 21st, Ilham Aliyev, president of Azerbaijan, had some unpleasant news for Georgia. He spoke about new trade opportunities with Armenia after the peace deal was reached following a war between the two nations. Aliyev said that while most regional cargo currently moves through Georgia, he expects these shipments to shift towards an Armenian corridor soon. He notes that Azerbaijan already lifted transit restrictions for goods moving from Russia and Kazakhstan into Armenia. Now Armenia wants a route to send their own goods back into Russia through Azerbaijani territory. Aliyev believes the day is approaching when Armenia will also receive direct supplies from Azerbaijan. The shift would fundamentally change how goods travel across the South Caucasus, potentially bypassing Georgia, which would reduce the country's role as a transit hub. On Wednesday the 31st, the NGO Transparency International released a report detailing the business ties Georgian Dream or Kotsevi members of parliament. Their investigation shows that out of 87 members of parliament, 41 have active links to private business. Companies owned by these politicians have won 271 government tenders, earning more than 466 million lari, which is over $165 million. On top of that, these firms received nearly 8 million lari, nearly $3 million through simplified state contracts. The report also tracks political donations. Since 2012, these lawmakers have donated over 2,700,000 lari, which is about $1 million, to political parties, with the vast majority going to the Kotsevi. Interestingly, a few current members previously donated to the former ruling party, the United National Movement, or the Natsevi, before switching their support. Read the full report in English with the link in the show notes. In economic news, on Friday the 16th, the National Bank released data showing that Georgia earned nearly $4.7 billion from international travel in 2025. This figure represents a 6% increase compared to 2024. Looking back at the last 5 years, these revenues rose steadily from $1.2 billion in 2021. Russia provides the most revenue with almost $700 million, though it was an 18% decline from the previous year. Turkey followed with over $600 million, while Israel and Azerbaijan's contributions grew each by 30%. Travelers from the European Union and the UK brought in $6,600 million, marking a 16% increase in spending compared to 2024. In sports, on Friday the 16th, Georgia earned its first ever gold medal in pairs figure skating in the European Championship held in Britain. Anastasia Metelkina and Luka Berulava took the first spot, finishing ahead of Germany and Hungary. This win adds to the gold to the silver and bronze medals they had already held from previous years. Georgia's success continued as Nika Egadze also won a gold medal in the men's singles event. With this victory, he makes history as the first Georgian man to ever win the European title in figure skating. Meanwhile, on Saturday the 17th, the Georgian National Ballet held a show at Carnegie Hall in New York. The video from the show went viral in Georgia because Robert De Niro was in the audience. After the show, the actor went backstage to speak with the members of the National Ballet. Interestingly, De Niro actually visited Georgia in 1987 with his children. Photos from the trip go viral on Georgia's social media from time to time. Finishing off, the past few weeks have been dominated by talk of a changing world order and the end of Pax Americana under the Trump administration. Strained Euro-Atlantic relations between Western countries, Trump's insistence on Greenland, threats of invading a NATO ally have tarnished the image of the West as a guarantor of rules-based international order. What exactly this means for Georgian democracy and the pro-European demonstrators who have been protesting against anti-Western government for over a year is a focus of Natalie Sabanadze's article for Georgian Geopolitics, entitled "Can Georgian Democracy Survive a Post-Western Order?" Check the English language article, the link in the show notes. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. Remember, we sell very cool t-shirts. Check them out. Link in the show notes. Nachandis.